Billionaire investor Jim Breyer on CNBC interview said that Tesla has at least a 5-year lead on manufacturing versus anyone else. He says that he walked the manufacturing lines of various car companies to see for himself. It appears that new Tesla Model Ys are now shipping with new hardware. And in Europe, we just had the sharpest one-day decline in inventory levels for the Model 3, and why? Just recently, a lot of Tesla stock bears were talking about how Tesla stock is doomed because there's no demand in Europe. Also, one reason why Troy's estimate is relatively low is because he does not have much confidence in Europe numbers. But comparing the same time last quarter, which is right here, to right now, we are now well below that level, which is great news. In the daily reporting countries, we are also doing very well. We are clearly way ahead of the previous quarter. We don't want to run out of inventory, and I think we have 3 ships going to Europe currently from China. So we should be good there. And now let's go through the rest of the Tesla stock news. So it seems like the Tesla Model Y is now receiving new hardware. They are tweeting that this is revealed in the page source on Tesla's Model Y inventory page. A source also confirmed this with us. It's not clear what's included in hardware 4 on the Model Y, but could be the same upgrade seen on the Model S without additional cameras. Those may come out at the same time as the redesign. We have some pictures as well, and he says that the lot is filled with these cars, although there are still some hardware-free cars in there as well. And here are some of the pictures. Pause if you like to take a longer look at any of these. All of the cameras appear to be in the same places as hardware 3, and no parking sensors. We have another source confirming this as well. If you go to this website and you scroll down a little bit, you will see that this car is listed to have hardware 4. The Model Y in the US doesn't really need a demand boost, but James says, if Tesla announced today that the Model Y performance supports Steam games, I would place the order instantly. New hardware, I think, will help sales at least a little bit, certainly. Drive Tesla Canada has now also confirmed that we do have that new hardware, but they also said that there's no indication that the new hardware exists in the vehicles in Canada that were shipped from China. But maybe the second ship that is going to Canada is going to have vehicles with the new hardware. If not, we may expect to see some discounting in Canada perhaps, or higher prices for the new vehicles. Nikola, which aspire to make very real trucks, has just received a delisting notice from the Nasdaq for not meeting its minimum bid price requirements. I guess the gravity of the situation caught up not only with Trevor Milton, but also now Nikola, the company as well. If you didn't know, Nikola trucks use gravity to move. Nvidia stock today is up 25% roughly, which feels the opposite of the banking crisis. Gary Black, who owns Nvidia as well as Tesla stock, of course, he says Tesla's Nvidia moment will be when everyone realizes Megapacks is a $20 billion a year business. We will get a quarter where energy revenues explode due to Megapack installations and Tesla stock will soar 10% or more. A similar $4 billion energy revenue upside surprise in Q2 or Q3 at a 25% gross margin would be worth $1 per share in incremental earnings per share per year at today's 2024 price to earnings of 35x. That's a $35 per share increase. There is an argument to be made that Tesla is trying to hide all of their income and profits from Megapacks because that business is perhaps too profitable and Tesla does not want the competition to see this. The Boston Dynamics CEO said that when Tesla unveiled the Optimus, there were a lot more competition after that. Small startups all over the place. So if Tesla makes it very well known that the Megapacks are a big money maker, Tesla would certainly face more competition. So maybe that could be a possible reason, although I'm not counting on that. Gary thinks that the Nvidia breakout offers upside opportunity for Tesla stock investors. And this, of course, is getting James really excited. He agrees with Gary. Jeff just read through a 144-page report on the current state of AI and monetization from Jefferies, but Tesla was not mentioned even once. My nose is a bit stuffy today, but I still smell opportunity. And interestingly, based on the price to earnings ratio, Gary says that Nvidia is now cheaper than it was 2 days ago. I know, many of you may be feeling like this, but our moment will come too. Looks like FSD Beta is coming to Australia too. 2 Tesla company cars seemingly are on FSD Beta. Also, there are reports that at least 2 cars in Europe also have FSD Beta now. We have a new picture of a Cybertruck interior. Keep in mind that the lens is probably distorting a few things, but it looks great to me. And this at least partially explains why Tesla sales in Germany slowed down last quarter. Germany is experiencing a recession, it appears. GDP went down by 0.3%, so not by a lot, but it still went down. Watching videos on Twitter just got a whole lot better. You can now change the speed on any platform as well as have a mini player. Tesla Roddy writes that seemingly the Model Y is now the world's best-selling car. And the sales for the Model Y are not slowing down, they are accelerating. Tesla posted this saying that the red color, the new one, has 7 layers of paint. Look at how differently this midnight cherry color looks under different conditions. I think that's my favorite color by far. Tesla just opened a new supercharging location, which is one of the biggest so far. Xbox's profit margins are dropping, and they are dropping fast. They are experiencing the opposite of what Nvidia is going through right now. This has been making the news. Tesla plummets 50 spots in a reputable brand survey. It's at 62, 30 places below Ford. And at first, when you read through this, it looks pretty bad. Tesla is ranking below Toyota, Honda, BMW, and Ford. Tesla fell 50 spots to number 62 out of 100 companies on the list, but it is still in the good category. And this is where things start to become interesting. Twitter is now number 97, 3 spots above the survey's laggard, the Trump Organization. Why did they even put that in there, I wonder? Because it's only 100 companies. This is how auto companies ranked on the survey. So Toyota number 6, Honda 13, Subaru number 16, BMW, Ford, GM, Volkswagen, Tesla, and then Chrysler. Perhaps one of the most interesting things out of all of this is that they actually included FTX here. You know, the company that stole everyone's money, actually stole people's money. And look at number 100. A company owned by a political figure is way behind an actual scam that stole people's money. I can certainly understand how a company that is owned by a political figure would be hated and disliked by half of a country and then also loved by the other half of a country or a third of a country. But here's something that I completely do not understand. How a company that stole people's money, a company that absolutely every single person hates, how does that company rank higher than a company that, you know, at least a big portion of a country will absolutely love, although the other portion of a country will absolutely hate? The math would tell you, if there is a company that is hated by half of the people and loved by the other half, but then there's another company which is hated by absolutely everyone, the math would tell you that such a company should rank at the very bottom, not in the 99th place. Another thing to keep in mind is look at the score, 74.3 at 62. And if you just go, let's say, quite a bit higher, then you still see scores in the 70s. And let's say we go higher, still all of the scores are in the 70s. Only if you go to the very top, only then we see first scores above 80. So even though Tesla did fall a lot according to this survey, the difference actually in absolute terms does not seem to be that high. Sure, you supposedly drop a lot lower, but your score is still pretty high. Warren actually has a very good point about this. How come there are no other media organizations on the list? I can't find a single other media organization. For example, where's CNN, where's CNBC, where's MSNBC? But But somehow there's Fox here. What? Pfizer is also on the list, and it's number 50 on this list. So it's almost like they surveyed more people from one political party than the other one, is what it sounds like to me. You know what's also interesting? The company that makes Bud Light is also on this list, and it's number 57. Here is their methodology. To me, perhaps the most interesting thing is that this year they reduced the number of participants in the survey by about half. Last year they had about 33,000 people, and this year only 16,000, almost as if half of the people perhaps were eliminated because they said things that maybe this company did not want them to say. I'm just speculating here, of course, but my initial impression so far, and I will try to dig deeper into this if there is more information about this, but my initial impression is if Tesla is still doing fairly well in this survey, to me it suggests that a certain political party still loves Tesla. Maybe not as much as before, but still they love Tesla, or at least like Tesla. And look, in 2020, they had 34,000 people in the survey. A year after that, in 2021, they had, guess how many? 43,000 people almost. However, Fox, for example, and Twitter were also at the bottom before as well. So to me, it appears that there's at least some bias there, certainly, although it is difficult to tell exactly how biased are their results. If they included CNN, MSNBC, and a few other legacy media companies, and if they also happen to be at the very bottom right here next to Fox, then I would say, okay, there's probably something here, but until then, yeah, I'm not so sure. However, even in 2021, Twitter was hated in this survey under the old management, so I don't know. But guess which company was number 3 in 2021? Moderna. And in this video, I talk more about Tesla starting to advertise. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.